Hello everybody, I'm Andy Downs, artist. I thought what we'd do today is a simple, let's do a draw together. So what I'll do is I'll put the image up on the side of the minute, what we're going to draw, and then you can draw along with me, which would be pretty cool, I think. We'll do some basic stuff before we move on to other images in the future. But cartooning is a great way to learn to draw, to teach you about shapes, shadows, foreshortening, all sorts of things like that. And there's plenty of references out there. So I'm going to use a popular reference today, which is Garfield the Cat. And I want you to grab a pad, a pen, a biro, nothing fancy, and then a pencil. If you've got a range of pencils, then the harder the pencil, the better. I usually draw with a 6H or sketch with a 6H. But it doesn't matter, if you've got an HB, then all you'll have to do is, or an H, you just have a lighter touch on the paper. So pause it here, go and find all your bits and pieces, and then we'll draw in real time. I think it'll take about 20 minutes to do. Okay, pausing now. Only kidding. Have you paused? Okay, pause it now. Hi, so one of the first characters I ever learnt to draw was an extremely popular character, and it's not My Little Pony. It's a cat, and somebody told me that this cat was one of the most popular recently. One of the most popular merchandisable cat or thing. In the world. I find it really easy to draw. There's a lot of reasons why it's easy to draw, because this cat's made up of a lot of circles. So now we're going to do a quick sketch, and I thought if I draw, you can draw along with me. It teaches a lot of things, drawing cartoons, namely how easy it can be to construct something if you make it up of shapes. So without further delay, I'll put it on the side somewhere, but let's together draw Garfield the cat. Right, so Garfield is made up of a load of circles. There's his head. There's his body. And we could do this through his legs. And the weight of Garfield is kind of like this. His other legs like that. Hope you can see these. And then according to this picture, it's kind of, maybe that's a bit further over, like that. So making lots of little shapes or circles, you can define a character very, very quickly. That is his sort of outside shape, really. There. Oh, what have I forgotten? Tail. So the tail kind of comes in this picture down like that, maybe. And then over there. There we go. So look how quick we've managed to get this shape down. So let's go and look at Garfield, shall we? So what I think I'll do today is start just by outlining his chin. And then let's go in with the figure. So because we've already made these shapes, they've given us a guide. So where you've got a plain sheet here, if you tried to just draw him straight away, then you wouldn't, it'd be quite hard probably to get proportion. But now it's like this, I've got something for my eye to tune into. So then it gives me sort of guidelines for the figure. So as you can see, it's not necessarily what I've already drawn, but it gives me the opportunity to look at these lines and think, well, that's not right, you know, that doesn't look good there. So then I can draw in my next set of lines, which are more exact. Let's try the arm. So the hand kind of comes around like that. And then we could do the fingers roughly, like this. Finger standing out, finger like that. There. So there we go, look. Let's bring that round now. Palm there. Finger as it comes up, gets fatter at the top. And then we bring that down to meet the thumb. And then this is the finger here. It's round. And the other one is just an orb, basically. There we go. And there is the base of his hand. That is Garfield's hand. There we go. So let's move down. Carry on with the body. We note here that there's a gap here because this is his foreleg, or the leg at the front in this case. And then as we move round, because the other leg is at the bottom or at the back, and that doesn't have, or that has the line there to show that that's at the back. Look, that line's there, no line there. All these lines straight down. Like to note the gap a bit more, or a bit less there. Start to turn in his heel, and the same down, and that heel cuts in. As you notice, I'm not really using this, it's more as a mind's eye guide to where his leg should be. If you use the pencil and lightly sketch it, then you can go in afterwards and make your lines darker. Okay, I'm here. So I'm using a 6H pencil. Always going with a hard pencil first, because then that gives me lots of scope. Lots of scope, so I can darken the lines as I go along. Cool, eh? There is not a lot to this, but I figure I've always done it. If you practice on cartoons, and as you become more accomplished, your figures, your figurative work, will become easy. There we go, we just start darkening those up now. Bring that tail down to there. That tail's got a little crease in it. There it is. Bring that round, quite round. Now if you're hopefully you're drawing along with me at this point. Your drawings will start to look similar. Little shadow there. Give the figure some weight. Okay, so over here now I've got this other foot. You see what I mean about the beauty of just sketching it in light. Make loads and loads of little marks, and then your brain will look at your reference image and it will tell you if you're right or if you're wrong, or if you're simply barking at this moment up the wrong tree. So I sketched cartoons a lot when I was a kid. I made up a few of my own characters. I can remember sitting in a music lesson doodling, thinking, oh, this is going to make me this character. The problem with my characters, they were never 3D. I'll sketch it in a different video to this, and you'll see they were kind of good from the front, but never really could adapt it to side views because of the way that they were. They're a bit like, do you remember the clay figures or plasticine figures of Trapdoor, if you're old enough? They're like that. They're really good from the front, but terrible on the side view. And don't be afraid, you can turn the paper as you go along. Remember, at the end of the day, this is your drawing, nobody else's. Just add some of the detail to there. Garfield. Right, there we go. How's that looking? So Garfield's got a face. So Garfield's face, a smug face of his. Again, let's make it up from some just shapes. Let's turn that on the angle because it's a bit of an angle. Okay, so his eyes go up towards, in fact, I think that's slightly higher. But again, so if you use gentle lines, I mean, none of this is rocket science, and you've probably seen this on a million. I really need to get some new rubbers. A million other videos from a million other sources, but this is me, and this is how I draw, which will be different to the way other people draws. At the end of the day, my best advice is research what you want to do, and then from that, take the information that you want and then leave the rest behind, because there's so much information out there and all of it will work for you. His ears. I think the beauty of drawing cartoons, okay, it's not your cartoon, you haven't designed it, but the beauty of drawing a character is the circles. making it look 3D. That's interesting. Look, it looks cross now. He's got a little bit there. He's got a little moustache or a grimy face. And when I was younger, I practiced Garfield so much that I could used to draw him without a reference. Almost as perfect as I'm doing this now. I think it was just something about his laziness and droll view on the world which I really resonated with. I mean, the world's a real hard place, isn't it? And there's nothing wrong with satirical views of the world. And I think that's what Garfield meant to me when I was younger, that I didn't really understand the world, yet I could see it through the eyes of cartoons, which every now and then would slip in an adult joke. And it was kind of like a glimpse into the future of what you can see about the world. There we go. Just start making the lines darker. And we'll have to get a new rubber. That one smudged it, isn't it, down there? Oh well, never learn. But if you don't draw, but somehow you're watching this, I would say start. Because say you do as I do and you just pull out one cartoon character rather than doom scrolling on that phone. This can take you, well, 5 minutes to an hour, or however long you want to do, or how complex you want to get. But I will say, if you're starting out drawing and you want to do life drawing, stick with the basics until you get the basics right, and then it will all become a lot easier. See, on the reference picture, Garfield has got these colour lines which make him look 3D. Possibly won't work on here. A smug old thing, isn't he? I think I wanted to be as lazy as him at one point. Just sit there looking at the world, bullying the dog, eating lasagna. That's how it went, wasn't it, I think? As I said earlier, I think he's one of the most merchandised characters ever, which is a bit mind-blowing. I don't even know if they still make, I don't think they even make the cartoons anymore. He's certainly got a legacy though, hasn't he? Yeah, I like Garfield. What was his dog's name? Odie. The thing is, with any, if you're a painter, then I would say pick up your pencils and start to draw. I mean, I've drawn all my life, but I have to say, when I got first back into art, I ignored drawing, and I just literally tried to learn everything I could paint-wise. And it wasn't until I started to run life drawing classes that I actually thought, oh man, I don't draw myself anymore. So I used to try and draw as many times as I could in life drawing classes, and it definitely helps focus your eye, which obviously translate into painting if you're going to paint freehand and not use the tools that we're provided, like gridding up or squiggle grids or anything like that, or projecting or tracing. But this is a great way to get your eye in. Oh look, I can use that line as a shade line. And then you can go a stage further and highlight in him. And you get a decent pen. Let's keep a load of biros. Yeah, so right now we can fill him in a bit better. I do like drawing with biro. Biro is unforgiving. A bit like tattooing, you can only make the mark once. But the good thing with biro is you can also sketch with it just like a pencil. So you can make lots of sketch lines, look. And then you can go over those sketch lines with more defined lines. There you go. How cool is that? I'm going to do this from the head down. Just going to do it quickly. But same, if you use any Bic or biro, you can use it in any colour, obviously. And then if you've got a decent rubber, you can rub it out at the end, or rub your pencil lines out, which I will not be able to do this session because I have the world's worst or most used rubber, which is for an artist in a massive art gallery is a stupid thing, because I should know better. But hey ho, this is a bit of a spur of the moment video, so there we go, and so on and so forth. Just start filling them in. Take note of where the lines start and where they end. Take note of the shapes as you do them. Look at that beautiful hand made up of his circles that you've produced. Look at these lovely lines. This is the thing about cartoons, is they give you the most beautiful finished curves and lines. As you're drawing getting on. So I'm going to post this, and then what I'd like you to do is to contact me and send me your results as well, because it would be good to see, and then maybe we could build up a library of these. And there we go, just to show you this pen's really highlighting now, and your other lines will disappear slightly, so it won't be so dark. And again, as I say, don't be afraid to turn the paper. To suit your needs. Whack that tail in. And then it's kind of like that, isn't it? These ovals in here. There we go. I'm not going to do all this, but there you go. There is your Garfield. And remember how Garfield started literally from shapes, building up the shapes. Give your eyes something to work with, and then you can spend the rest of the time giving your eyes a challenge, going, well, that's wrong, that's right, I like that, I don't like that, it doesn't look like that, it doesn't look like this. And then as long as you keep practicing that repairing, before you know it, it will become second nature, and you'll get these lovely shapes and lines that I have with the hands and all that. But there we go. Garfield. Amazing. You can spell that wrong. Fab. All right, enjoy that. As I say, send me your ones. I'll put a link somewhere, and then let's see. Don't forget to check me out on my Instagram, my Facebook. Just look for Andy Downs Art, and my website andydownsart.co.uk, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one.